Hey guys, I'm Amy White and I'm here to talk to you about Bitmoji Classrooms. If you don't know what a Bitmoji is, then that's me as a Bitmoji. So, just as a basic. So, that's your first thing. You've already learned something today. All right, I'm going to share with you my presentation. I'm Amy White. I am a career development coordinator. I am at Owen High School and Community High School, and I work for Buncombe County Schools. I am currently serving as the president of Gamma Chapter. We are Region 11, and we serve Buncombe and Madison County. So before we start, there's a few things that I want to talk about just before we really jump into this. The first is I am recording this from my porch. My dogs are outside, and it never fails that they bark, so they're probably going to bark. Buddy and Clover, so I apologize now. So before we get started, you will need to know what a Bitmoji is. And so to get a Bitmoji, you need a Bitmoji account. If you're already using Snapchat, then you already have a Bitmoji account. However, you do not have to get Snapchat to get Bitmoji. You can just go to the Bitmoji website and sign up for an account using your email. And once you're there, it's basically your little avatar person. You go through, you customize everything about them. You customize their body type. You customize their eye shape, their nose shape, their eyeshadow color, their blush color, their lipstick color, their hairstyle, hair color. And you just keep messing around until you get it to look like you. And then you can pick the clothing choices, and you can go back in later and change your Bitmoji appearance. So that is your basic Bitmoji account. The second thing you need is you need to have the Bitmoji Chrome extension on your computer so that you can use your Bitmoji account when you're using like your Google. We're going to talk about making your Bitmoji Classroom using Google slides today. So if you don't have that Bitmoji extension already downloaded onto your computer, then you need to go ahead and do that. If you don't know what Google Chrome extensions are, they are amazing tools that can simplify your life and add things. You just Google Chrome extension. You can Google Bitmoji Chrome extension and it'll get you right there to download it. I have found that in my county, I don't think that the students are allowed to download the Bitmoji Chrome extension. So I would imagine that there could be some systems that have it blocked for faculty as well. But as with most websites or stuff, you can submit requests to get those kind of things within your district. Whitelisted is what they call that, where they unlock those things. And so if you typically if you present things to your tech department and tell them how you're using it in the classroom and why you need it, a lot of times that'll get you somewhere. I didn't have to do that. Like I said, it was already available for teachers. We're going to be using Google Slides. I guess you could use I guess you could use PowerPoint if you weren't a school that had access to Google Slides, but the fact that within Google Slides you can actually share from there is what makes the Bitmoji Classroom work. And we're going to also talk about share in presentation mode versus just sharing the Google Slides. So we're going to talk about those things. So unfortunately, because I only have a short amount of time, if you aren't really comfortable with a Bitmoji account, with feeling comfortable enough to download the Chrome extension, and with Google Slides, then this may overwhelm you a little bit. I'm just going to go ahead and warn you. If those are pretty basic concepts, then we're going to go through this. So I think it's important when you talk about Bitmoji Classrooms, because obviously this guy right here, she just looks like a fun little playful thing that sometimes your friends might send you text messages with little fun Bitmojis you know, with emotions. And so basically what they are is they're a way to show emotion in a text-filled world. So we text each other all the time, we send each other documents, and so these are digitized versions of you where you can grab them and use different emotions to convey how you're feeling. They're important in a remote teaching environment because there's so much that we're sending electronically now that we can't simply send a picture of ourselves just giving a wave. And granted, we could take pictures of ourselves just waving, but that would probably be a little creepy after a while of just sending selfies doing this. So these are a little bit less, maybe harmless, I think. So I think it's important first that you see what some other people are doing so that you can get some ideas of how maybe a Bitmoji classroom might help in your classroom, whether we are face-to-face or whether we are in a remote teaching environment or some sort of hybrid combination of the two. So this is an example that I have made in my role as Career Development Coordinator at North Buncombe. And all of those different Bitmojis represent friends of mine in real life. And most of them, actually maybe half of them, have sent me their real Bitmoji. This first one over here to the left is my friend Leslie, and that is her for real Bitmoji. This one right here, I hope that it's showing you my cursor on the screen, but I'm not 100% sure it's recording my cursor. The third one over at where it says SunTrust logo, that's my friend Minori, and Minori didn't actually have Bitmoji. She sent me the, I don't know if that's the new Facebook or the one that's it's either the new Facebook avatar or the one that's on your phone. And she sent me that and I made it work for this. So that's why she doesn't have a body. So she looks a little different because she's actually just like cut off right here. So then this is my friend Melissa, and with the dog, she sent me that one. She's a vet. She sent me that one. And then actually the rest of these are I'm pretty sure are ones that they didn't have a Bitmoji. So for this purpose, because I needed them to represent these people, right here, this is Mandy Hines, and some of you may know Mandy. She is a former family and consumer science teacher, and she works for Johnson & Wales now. Mandy didn't have Bitmoji, or maybe I didn't even ask her, but I found a Bitmoji example, and I'm going to share some of these resources with you later. I found one that kind of looked enough like Mandy for it to do my purpose. This is my friend Josh, who is in the, I think he's in the Navy. He's in the Navy. And this is my friend Alan, who's a paramedic and a firefighter. And so both of those I actually have. So I have my personal Bitmoji account, this girl. And then I also use my school email to make a generic Bitmoji account so that if I need to build a person, I can go in and change a person and create a person fast enough so that I can download an extra person. I wouldn't recommend doing that regularly with yours because every time you go in and change the settings, you have to rebuild your person. So while it is possible to recreate a person and totally change the look, you then have to kind of start over from square one. So that's a little bit advanced. Again, I'm going to share with you some resources if you need to find some sample people. I did the same thing with the chef over there. That's my friend and former student, Kayla. She is now a chef out in Hawaii. And then the girl with the soccer ball is my friend Ashley from college. And that was actually one of the sample ones that I found. And it just really actually looked like her, and she works for the YMCA. So that picture worked. So what is this virtual career fair? So all of these little people here are linked to videos that they've sent in. And
hello everyone, my name is Leslie Cunningham and I am doing this video for Amy White. She asked people to talk about their career path and careers.
So all of those people go through and they talk about their careers in little, I ask people to do short 3 to 5 minute videos. They're all linked there. And so that's something that I kind of have put together in this time when I can't really be bringing in guests to talk about into the school to talk about their job because we're not there. So this is actually still a work in progress that I'm just kind of adding to. This is a sample that I actually put together. This is actually, I'll be completely transparent. I made this sample just solely for the presentation purpose. This is an example though of how you can take a student's work and basically create a little bit more of an interactive portfolio of student work. So Bronte is actually the daughter of our drafting teacher at my school. Bronte just graduated and she was an AP art student. So I created this Bitmoji Classroom environment for Bronte. Bronte sent me her Bitmoji, so that's really Bronte's Bitmoji. And the 4 pieces of art are all pieces that were in her AP art portfolio. And so if you click one of the pieces of art, it will it's linked so that it will open a Google Doc that has the picture of the artwork that you clicked on and a description of what inspired her to create that piece of art, and how she came up with it and what kind of I think medium that she used as well. So again, this one is just showing how you could use it for a student's collection of work that I actually put together for her and then shared that with her. So again, if the students can't get to the Google, if they can't get the Bitmoji Google Chrome extension downloaded on their computer, there's ways around actually getting the person. But the fact is, making this environment that's just a little bit more has more eye appeal than a Word document with a bunch of links. So basically, Bitmoji Classrooms are allowing you to take hyperdocs that are just Google documents or Word documents that you email or share with your students that have links in them that are all strings of letters and numbers, and take those and make them more appealing to where somebody actually becomes interested, like, oh, what is this little art classroom here, and then some of the things I don't know why that linked us. That really shouldn't have been linked, but evidently I've got this pencil thing linked to that. But this is a picture that she did, a picture she painted of a picture that she took while she was in Denmark. So those are all linked. This is a sample that I put together actually pretty fast. Didn't really put a lot into it, but I was just showing, my point of this one is it's just a kitchen. That's my Bitmoji. And when I was looking for on my Chrome extension, I typed in cook. That's the Bitmoji sample that it came up with. So I threw that one in there. And some of the links, like you could link it here to your recipes from your class if you've got a website of recipes that are particular to your class. But in this instance, I have it linked to allrecipes.com because allrecipes.com is really one of my favorite recipe websites. So the others are linked to, and it's taken a little bit to open these, so I'm gonna not click all the links actually, but I've got different links like this. If you click the refrigerator, it takes you to a link about how to properly organize your refrigerator, which is something that we teach in foods and foods too, about what goes on the top shelf. And so that there's a little quick snippet video, the little videos that we know that our students will watch is linked to that. The measuring cup here, it goes to a video that's one of my personal favorites about why it's important to use liquid measuring cups for liquids and dry measuring cups for dry ingredients. Don't tell my friend Lauren's mom, my friend Lauren, her mom Janie, because Janie gets real upset when we try to tell her that she can't use liquid measuring cup for her dry ingredients. But I'll tell my students that. So there's different little videos that are linked here. This one's one on measuring. This one's one about herbs. I think it's actually one about maybe having your own herb garden. This one, I don't know if I don't know if it is linked, but you could do, you know, it's an Anthony Bourdain quote, so maybe you could have different quotes by different chefs, and then it would click and it would go to something about that chef. So there's a lot of possibilities for how you use these classrooms to then take students to other places that you want them to go to. Again, this might be just an activity where you want these students to go watch these you know, several 2-minute videos, and this is, you know, you just say, go find, there's 5 videos in here, find them all. Okay, now we're to the ones that I did not make, and this one has sound, but this is a virtual field trip week that was made from a teacher. And so what you do is you click, I love the bus noise. You click on the picture next to the day of the week, and so everybody was supposed to, like on Monday, click it, and they were going to go to the New England Aquarium. And so then it opens actually this whole other presentation that is all about, it's a whole virtual field trip of this place. Like, I don't know who this person is that made this virtual field trip week, but it is insane how much stuff they have. Insane. And I'm going to tell you how you can find other amazing resources like that, but we're going to talk about that later. So this is just an example of another way that you could use it. You know, we see some of these, a lot of the museums and just various places have offered kind of free, they've kind of offered more free virtual tours during quarantine and during COVID. So this is a good way to kind of take those and put them all in one place and then share them with your students. This was just another example of a teacher in Georgia that did it. This one's not quite as advanced as that other one. So let's go to the Atlanta Zoo. And then this one actually just links to the websites of a lot of these places. Again, still pretty interesting. So this is an example of a teacher who used theirs in remote teaching as their way of posting, you know, your daily agenda, your bulletins, your just information about what today's objective is, what I need you to complete. And so you can actually create these as a slide and share it so that you can put it, you just put it in your Google Classroom or your Canvas or whatever LMS you're using. And then again, it's a little bit more appealing than having just, you know, text, you know, in Arial or Times New Roman size 12. So there's not really a lot of links in this one you can see. It's just kind of a little bit more appealing. And it's the same information here in the center that would be typed out. So it just really draws your attention in and draws in, ultimately the goal would be to draw in the student and grab their attention. This is obviously English teacher, and when you click on all of these, it takes you, let's see if it'll work, it does, and it takes you to like trailers for the books. So those are just some ideas. I hope that they've kind of got your mind thinking about, like, in my classroom, what could I take? What kind of virtual little classroom could I find? You can take a picture, a real life picture of your classroom, and insert links and use that. All you're using is that picture as the background of the slide. And then you insert, you know, your Bitmoji or another Bitmoji of something that looks like a student, just to create that interaction so that it looks like it's not an empty room. Because if you're like me, I'm really tired of empty rooms. That's why sometimes I just have to come out on my porch because I just need to go somewhere. So let's talk about the difference between sharing. So we've made these in Google Docs. And I'm going to show you some of that in a minute, so don't freak out. But I think it's really important to know the difference between sharing the not Google Docs a minute ago, sorry. Sharing the Google presentation, Google Slides, versus sharing it as a presentation only. All right, so remember the virtual career fair that I had. So I have linked it to share the Google slide, and I've linked it to the presentation. So I'm going to show you the difference. If you share with somebody the link of just sharing it, you give them the link to share the presentation, this is what's going to open on their screen. It's going to open up and it's going to be, you can obviously set it to where it's view or edit. And I've got this, I hope, set. It's because it's me, and I have it set to where only I have rights to edit it. But even still, it kind of takes away from it, because you can see, you know, that it's part of a slide, and it just doesn't really look as crisp. So let's go back to this. And there's a way that you can share it as a presentation only, to where when somebody takes that link and clicks on it, it automatically opens in more of this full screen presentation style. So how do you do that? Uh-oh, okay. So from here, there's a dog coming and my dogs are gonna bark. So I told you, I apologize. So from here, what you're gonna do is, you know, we know how to share using the share button and copy a link. But instead, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go here to File, and we're gonna publish to the web. And because there's only one slide, we don't really care about it auto advancing, because there's just one slide. And so then there's my link. Now the first time you do, because I've already done this, I've got a link, you have to like tell it to go ahead and publish it, because mine already, right here you can see it says that it's published. You have to publish it, and then it gives you this link. This is the link that automatically comes up like this. So maybe I actually didn't know how to share in a presentation form. So I don't know. It was something that I didn't know how to do. So I kind of thought that you might need to know. All right, so let's talk about resources and how to make this happen, because now you're sitting there thinking, I can't spend all day finding these cute little pictures and this furniture and all of these things. So my first tip for you is, if you are on Facebook, you need to go and you need to search for the Bitmoji Craze for Educators Facebook group. Oh my gosh, I'm going to it right now. I have my phone. Look. Here's, oh, see, that's the bad part about using a background. Here's my phone. Bitmoji Craze for Educators. Look, there's 152,523 members. I hope you can see it, but I don't know if it'll let you. It's not going to let you, but you should go there and you should look at it. Ooh, maybe you can see it. Look, and there's tons. Y'all, all of these people love Bitmoji Classrooms, and they just share their examples. So those examples came from there. These resources that I'm going to show you in a second, it's just a compiled list that I found from that website, and I've taken the ones. People are sharing every day, and it is great. They're sharing ways that they're using Bitmoji Classrooms. They're using resources, things that they're using to build them, everything. Go join that group. It's great. So what I've done from that group is, it gets a little overwhelming because there's a lot of things shared. So what I did was I went through and I found some of the things that I thought were really good and, you know, could really help you get started. And I've made one huge resource on one file, and it's a really big Google Slides file, and I've shared it. So by now, I hope maybe you've went in and you've typed in bit.ly/Bitmojis Amy. The B and A do have to be capitalized for it to work. So let's look at that. So I do want to note here that this file is gathered by Amy White, but it is not my work. Most of these things are from that Bitmoji Craze for Educators group, and it's just a collection of things that I've kind of pieced together. So here at the beginning, I have some other sample rooms. Like, you know, this one is one that I shared with you. Some of these are other ones, but they're just kind of some ways that people have either, like this one, I think is actually just a scene that somebody put together. That there's nothing really class specific in this one, but they just kind of set this up like a classroom, and you could go in and you could delete this person right here, and you could, here's my, do you see right here, that's my Chrome extension. Go here, it's going to open, and I'm going to say pose, because if you search for pose, you're going to get all of these with usually without words. And I'm gonna look for one where I'm sitting down. Don't see one, of course, because I'm looking for it. So I'm gonna say sit. There she is, sitting down. There it is. I'm gonna right click on it. I'm gonna copy it. I'm gonna move this chick over because I'm gonna let her stay there eventually. But for now, I'll paste myself in there. Let me shrink me down so I can fit in the chair. Story of my life. And boom. There I am, sitting in that little room. I don't know, I kind of look like I'm spilling out of that chair. Yeah. There we go. And you just kind of mess with it until it looks right. You kind of work with layering stuff. So if I wanted my person, let's say I wanted one of me standing up, we'll just use this one because it was easy to get to. So I really love all these lemon things. So here I am, I'm just standing there like a nerd. And let's say that I wanted to make me stand behind, like that looks weird. It looks like I'm just standing on this table. So what I actually do is I go to arrange, order, send to back, and I'm back there like peeping through the bookshelves like a real weirdo kind of creep. But then from there, what I could do is order, bring forward, not bring all the way to the front. And if you keep doing that, and you can control up arrow, so I'm going to do that now that you've seen that. I'm going to keep doing that until there's a lot of layers on this one. See, I just bumped up a layer. There, I'm coming up with more. There I am. See, now there's the computer's floating over my body. And eventually, you know, so it depends on how you stack different pieces on there as to, you know, how you can make your person. But like right now, see, I'm standing behind the pillow. So I'm going to move this chick back into her room because that's her room. And so those are some of the pre-built rooms. All right, going back to my little table of contents, I've also linked to the section, come on empty rooms. So this is where you could start from scratch. So you want to go to the gymnasium, boom, it's empty. Random classroom with bricks, awesome. You know, some of these look more fake than others. Some of them look like actual real rooms. There's one, you know, some of them just don't even look like a room. They're just like very theatrical. It's whatever. Oh, this one, here it is. This is like a real picture. It's not my house, but it's a real picture of somebody's house. So you could use that. So it depends on what you're going for as to what you could use. All right, going back up to the beginning. Furniture, Clover's crying, I'm sorry. Furniture and decoration. So you've got your empty room, right? You need to put furniture in it. So look, got it all ready for you. So you just go in here, find this. Remember, did you see that a minute ago? That was in my kitchen, remember? And I said, yeah, that takes you to a little video about herbs and herb gardens or whatever. Boom, there it is. So you just go in, I like this one because this is the only way I'm going to be able to keep a plant alive is if it's a picture of a plant, and you copy it and you paste it over to what you want. So here's some desks, all these things. So then you just build, and it's not loading really fast right now, but I promise there's not just empty slides everywhere. These slides are all full of resources. So by now, I hope you went to bit.ly/Bitmoji's Amy. Here it is, Bitmoji's Amy. B and the A are capitalized. Okay, so you need to go there. And it's going really slow because I'm using Zoom to film this, so I apologize. Empty room. Let's pick one. I really like this. No, I don't. It's kind of dull. Let's find a happy looking one. Oh, I can sit here and look at all these all day, so I'm just going to go with this one. Okay, so I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go and just make a new presentation, just because that does make it a little bit easier. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to paste it. All right. So I'm going to go down now. I'm going to start looking for some furniture to add to my room. And because it's taken so long, I really had high hopes of building a little bit more of a complex room, but it's not going to let me. Oh, but that is another thing I need to tell you. The fourth part of this resource that I have for you is a bunch of extra people that are already made up. So if you don't have your own Bitmoji, you don't want to make an account, there's all of the, and then because I'm a dog person, there's some pets here for you. But these are all different ones that from that group that I was telling you about, Bitmoji Craze for Educators. These are ones that people have shared, and it's just a collection that people have put together, and then I kind of put other collections together. And so these are all different people that you could use for various things. Okay. So let's see. You know, I'm a science nerd, so I'm going to use the periodic table. And we're going to put that there. Go back over here and let's see. I need a little side table here. Copy it. Paste it. Put it. Oh, see? Buddy and Clover, stop it. I'm sorry. All right, there's that. And let's find me a chair. Okay, I like this chair, but I have one problem with it. I like this chair, but I want it to face the other way. So I'm gonna go in here. Rotation. Why can you never do things when you're trying to flip it? There we go. So I just flipped it. Okay, so now I'm gonna go here. There's that. And I'm gonna put me in here. Kind of hard too, because sometimes you look like a child because your feet don't quite touch the floor. But now I'm starting to look like, there we go. That kind of looks somewhat normal. I kind of look like a giant. There we go. This little side table is definitely too small compared. Whoa, come back. Periodic table needs to come up here. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just put a laptop, which I know there's someone here. Here they are. We'll put a laptop on here. And then maybe I want to just simply, you know, it's kind of funny rotation. So let's rotate it. There we go. And, you know, I can then link this to wherever I want it to go to. So that would be my, you know, link. And you can enter text or whatever. So that's just some basics of how to kind of start building a room and putting your stuff in here. Again, if I wanted to, let's say, have my person standing behind this table, then I would find her, copy her, paste her. Let's make her tall. And then I'd put her here, and I'm going to arrange, order, send to back, and now I'm standing behind that. Maybe I want to stick out a little over here, and that's how you can start, you know, layering some things. Table's kind of, I mean, that chair's kind of big. You know, and you got to look at where your background looks, where the floor kind of meets. You don't want to put your chair up there because then it looks like your chair's floating in the air. Same with your person. That's it. Thank you guys for attending my session. Below are my email addresses. The top is my work address and the second one is my personal address. If you have any questions about my presentation, feel free to email me using either of those addresses. And I hope you have a great day, and thanks again for participating.